Wasn't for the hundreds of brave officers who defended our capital from the violent mob, January 6th could have been a massacre. I'm talking about heroes like D.C. Metropolitan Police Officer Michael Fanone, who almost died from the insurrection. He was brutally assaulted and tased multiple times. Here's part of his body camera footage. Well, Officer Fanone went back to Capitol Hill today to try to talk to those 21 lawmakers, and he joins me tonight. Mike, good evening. Thank you. I appreciate you joining.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate you having me on.
Why did you go to talk to those 21 Republicans who voted against this bill, and were you able to talk to any of them?
So I just went there today to try to schedule appointments to speak with the 21 members that voted no for the gold medal bill, acknowledging the U.S. Capitol Police officers as well as the MP officers who responded to the Capitol insurrection on January 6th. I really just went there to engage with them, talk to them about my experience, show them body-worn camera footage from that day if they were interested, and again, like just relay what my experiences were and what the experiences of some of my colleagues were. I didn't go there with the thoughts that I was going to change a bunch of hearts and minds, but I wanted to better educate them as to what officers' experiences were that day. And no, again, I didn't meet with any members other than I did bump into Representative Andrew Clyde in an elevator.
Yeah, well, let's talk about this because you ran into him, Congressman Andrew Clyde. Here's what he said about January 6th. Watch this.
Let me be clear. There was no insurrection. If you didn't know the TV footage was a video from January the 6th, you would actually think it was a normal tourist visit.
So we have this picture up now. I don't know if you can see it. I think you're in the studio and you can. This is a Clyde trying to barricade a door on January 6th, which clearly wouldn't be necessary with just normal tourists. So what happened when you introduced yourself to the congressman?
So like I said, I saw Congressman Clyde standing outside in the elevator. I was there with Officer Harry Dunn, who accompanied me throughout the Capitol. Went into the elevator. I greeted Congressman Clyde. I was very cordial. I extended my hand to shake his hand. He just stared at me. I asked him if he was going to shake my hand, and he told me that he didn't know who I was. So I introduced myself. I said that I was Officer Michael Fanone, that I was a D.C. Metropolitan Police Officer who fought on January 6th to defend the Capitol. And as a result, I suffered a traumatic brain injury as well as a heart attack after having been tased numerous times at the base of my skull, as well as being severely beaten. At that point, the congressman turned away from me, pulled out his cell phone. It looked like he was attempting to pull up like an audio recording app on his phone, and again, like never acknowledged me at any point. As soon as the elevator doors opened, he ran as quickly as he could, like a coward.
Like a coward. Didn't
Correct.
Shake your hand?
Absolutely not.
What do you think of that?
Obviously, like, I took that particular interaction like very personally, but I also took it as a representation of Andrew Clyde giving the middle finger to myself and every other member of the Metropolitan Police Department and U.S. Capitol Police that responded that day.
We reached out to Clyde's office for comment, but we haven't heard back. And you said that he seemed to be, again, fumbling with his phone, trying to record you, right?
Correct. After I introduced myself and explained to him, who I was and what had happened to me on January 6th, neither one of us spoke to each other after that, but he did pull out his phone. It was apparent to me that he was trying to record any, additional conversation that we had. But I felt compelled to confront him specifically because of the comments that he had made. Other congressmen who voted against the bill, they had different reasons, whether it was language that was in the bill. But Congressman Clyde has made some pretty incendiary remarks downplaying the event And then, to be honest with you, downplaying is disingenuous. He just out and out lied. And the reality is, like, at this point, if you're going to sling bullshit about January 6th, I'm going to call you out on it. And you're going to be held accountable.
Yeah. Were people complaining about you being there? That's what I heard you said, that there were complaints about you being on the Hill. What was the problem?
So, I mean, just to
I'm sure they weren't complaining about you being there on January 6th, but go on.
Correct. I mean, most of our interactions, again, was just with staff members. The staff members were incredibly cordial. They, wanted to assist us in setting up meetings with members of Congress or with their representatives. And, some of them even expressed like significant interest in having us sit down with their representatives. We did have one interaction with a representative, I believe from Montana. I can't remember his name, but his chief of staff seemed like very uncomfortable at Harry and I's presence at their office. And I believe that stemmed from the fact that we were there just to discuss January 6th. I mean, again, we were very cordial. Obviously, I knew that there was some potential for, some degree of hostility just at my mere presence in their office. So I went about it, with the perspective of killing people with kindness and tried to be overly polite. And, I have no regrets about the interactions and my behavior that day. I think some members, Andrew Clyde specifically, and this particular chief of staff from the Montana representative's office, their behavior was pretty damn disgusting.
Yeah. Officer Fanone, Mike, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Don't miss CNN's special report, by the way. It's called Assault on Democracy, the Roots of Trump's Insurrection. Our Drew Griffin has new details about what happened on that day. That's Sunday night at 9 p. Sunday night, right here on CNN, Assault on Democracy. To the top Trump